Good evening, everyone, and welcome aboard for the 8th annual Sony Shootout to kickstart the new year. 2019 is here, new cars, new aero package, new rules for the Sony Cup Series, and a brand new name to kickstart the season, the FBRL Sony Cup Series. We're getting ready for a new season, 1 week ahead of the Daytona 500. It all starts right here in Daytona for the Sony Shootout and Expedition race. 17 drivers will take to the track. We had 15 different pole winners last year, and we have 2 past winners also in the field of Charles Sanford and Luke Martin. Jesse Turner drew the pole in random qualifying, and on the outside we were supposed to have Luke Martin starting second, but in practice we've seen that him get into a lot of problems with some drivers, and drivers have to go to backup cars. No drivers will have to go to the backup since this is an expedition race. However, the officials did give Luke Martin a grid penalty, and Martin is having to start out back for this race. So 17 drivers for 50 miles. Usually this race is a lot longer than what it is for tonight, but only 50 miles. It will actually be a typical shootout style race. Very short amount of time to get to the front. Only 20 laps for tonight's race. Who's going to take the win for the Sony Shootout? As we get set and ready to go 20 laps for 50 miles. We'll take you through the field real quick as these cars get ready to race for the first time ever this year. Who will win the first 2019 race? Even though it's not a points-paying race, they want to win it. Turner, who came up runner-up in the championship last year, on the pole with Matthew Rodriguez with Toyota for Martin Motorsports. This is going to be a big show for the Martin Motorsports team. 2 of them on the outside of the rows in first row 1 and 2 for Caps in 4th. Ryan Griffin in 3rd, new ride for him. Jake Bassinger in his original colors in the 97. Dylan Young in the 88. Back again for Yank Motorsports. John Weeks, Nick Mace. Nick Mace, the defending champion. How about Hayden Klein, Season 4 champion alongside last year's Daytona 500 pole sitter, Garrett Sidner. Curtis Davis, Finn Guy, and others get ready to go down for racing. 20 laps, and we're underway. The green flag is out, and the Sony Shootout is underway. On the jump, Ryan Griffin underneath of Jesse Turner, not playing around. He wants to take the lead for Allen Family Racing Team. Griffin, the only Dodge that is in this field, I do believe so. Nope, he's got Jeffrey Finguy in this field further back as well. Forgot about him, but drivers trying to fan out, trying to get 3 wide. John Weeks, you can go below the yellow line here. Rules in the SCS here do not forbid anyone to go below the yellow line, so you will see drivers ducking down below under the yellow line, trying to get any position that they can. Griffin took the lead from Jesse Turner at the line, but here comes Weeks with help from the champion of Nick Mace. And Turner gets hung out by his teammate there, Bassinger to the inside of him. 20 laps to get yourself up to the front and win this race. John Weeks out front. How about Bassinger looking real aggressive, trying to get underneath of Ryan Griffin up the middle. Nick Mace getting some shove from Jeffrey Finguy there. Look at there, Finguy, along with Sanford, Martin. Martin started out back, and there's Davis as well. They have a chance to move up here, and it's not even completion of lap 2. John Weeks out front, clear with Ryan Griffin. However, here comes Cody Lamas drafting back up. The Fitzwater Australia racing car is losing the draft just a little bit back there. But here comes Griffin back for the lead. Getting a little taste of what this package is going to be like. Weeks all by himself on the outside, looking pretty strong. No help at all whatsoever. And he's holding in strong with Ryan Griffin. Finguy ditches his Dodge teammate, basically. The Allen Family Racing cars and the Finguy Satomi cars really closely related there, as they are closely teammates there. And Finguy chose to go up high with John Weeks. Charles Sanford, who started out back, looking to get to the front. And here he comes, looking 3 wide. Griffin and Weeks nearly touch in the tri-oval. This is a shootout, if it ever is. 20 laps to get yourself up to the front. Who's going to win here? Look at Davis and Mace getting a heck of a run here. Going to give a good push there to Ryan Griffin. Already we're seeing that. Look at Davis just slide up in front of Finguy. Davis, we talked about him in the practice session. New ride for him this year. And a new era for Jordan Davis. He's a two-time champion, trying to be a three-time champion. Trying to push new teammate Daytona Weeks. This is a group of drivers that I think you need to watch for 2019. The Yamp Motorsports cars of Weeks and Davis especially, two drivers very established, I think are going to be very good all year. And Weeks cuts down in front of the 43 of Griffin. Jeffrey Finguy looking strong. Here comes Dylan Young, the Season 10 Daytona 500 winner. Not sure if I'm going to cut away at all. We got a lot of action to unfold and only 20 laps to do it. Usually it's a highlight style video, but we might not do that here. A lot of action, can't cut away one bit. Here comes Matthew Rodriguez. He kind of fell back early on, but he is fighting his way towards the front. His teammates of Curtis and Cabs. Curtis, the 2017 champion. New ride for him, same number, but a different team. Gonna be interesting to see how Curtis does with Martin Motorsports equipment, and now Toyota. And Rodriguez just powers his way around Bassinger. Two Dodges sitting there, second and third, but Finguy looking to the inside of Griffin. No help from Davis, however. Davis gives the shove to Griffin. And Davis trying to follow his way around, but he doesn't have much help. Dylan Young's there. The Yamp Motorsports cars looking really quick, as they always do, on the super speedway type tracks, and they're getting kind of fanned out after only 6 laps of racing. Daytona Weeks leads over Ryan Griffin. Dylan Young underneath of Jeffrey Finguy, but can Finguy get around the 88? 3 wide. Rodriguez trying to get around him, but can't do it there. Had to lift, and Dylan Young getting past Jeffrey Finguy now. As the tires wear on, I expect these drivers to fan out just a little bit, get a little taste of what the Daytona 500 may be like, even though it is a night race. And compared to what it was last year, Charles Sanford has not been up towards the front in the lead, but he has been in the top 5, trying to get up there now. Underneath of Jordan Davis. The front two, however, Daytona Weeks, Ryan Griffin, and even Jeffrey Finguy, I believe. That's probably the strongest 3 cars that are up here. And look at Finguy around the outside of Dylan Young here. Cars are really getting strung out now. You're starting to see where everyone is strong at. Everyone is still relatively together as Sidner is starting to fall relatively off the pace. Klein crashed, taking up the rear. Nick Mason, Jesse Turner, championship rivals from last year, out back and not really posing much a threat and have not been up towards the front, so that is a little surprising to me. But up front, 3 cars pulling away. It is Daytona Weeks, Ryan Griffin, and Jeffrey Finguy. The Dodgers have been the talk of the offseason. How will they play in the hands of everyone else? Dodgers looked as though they have really made some big gains during the offseason. However, here in the Sony Shootout, it doesn't look like Finguy nor Griffin really want to work together as much, and Finguy really trying to get around Griffin, can't make anything of it there. And Matthew Rodriguez in the Toyota, trying to pose a threat. Charles Sanford has his teammate Cody Lamas not that far behind. As you can see, passing looks tough to do right now. Possibly, oh, look at Griffin! Griffin and Finguy going to the inside of Daytona Weeks. But can they mount a charge? Last time they tried to do this, Daytona Weeks was able to go right back around them. Right now, under the lights, you're seeing some real good racing. Look at Jordan Davis to the inside of Jeffrey Finguy. Here comes Lamas, 3x3 here. Griffin gets to the lead. Jordan Davis underneath of Jeffrey Finguy. What a move by Davis. A miserable 2018 season for Davis. A new change of pace for Jordan Davis, a new team. And here he is going for the lead in the Sony Shootout. Yamp Motorsports, known to be very good on the super speedway type tracks. We just went from seeing single file racing to 3x3x3. What a package we're seeing right now. Very different change of events we're watching. Griffin around the outside trying to get a run. Cody Lamas getting a heck of a push from Jeffrey Finguy. Those Dodges look really quick, and that is a very telling sign of what we may be seeing for the Daytona 500, and especially with the Yamp Motorsports cars. Right now, what I'm seeing, 11 laps in, the Dodges and Yamp Motorsports look awful quick. Nick Mason way back there, the defending champion, along with DJ Curtis, the 2017 champion. Not really posing a threat. Not looking very quick, but Weeks fighting his way back towards the front. 4 wide. Dom Caps in the middle of a 4 wide sandwich. Gonna get out of there for a second. He backed out of that one. Finn Guy sliding up in front of Lamas. Here it comes Weeks. Back for the race lead again. Side by side, further back, Jeffrey Finn Guy really quick. Back underneath of Jordan Davis. He's got a run too, man. Coming back, it'll be 8 laps to go in the shootout. A very short race indeed. But Finn Guy coming back to the inside of Daytona Weeks. What an intense race we are watching. We have about 14 cars in this package. Klein, Crash, and Sidner are falling out of the pack. Finn Guy all by himself getting a run, and here comes Griffin. What a move to the inside. Thought for a second he was going to try and help out the 92, and it probably would have kept them the race lead if they would have went with Finn Guy. So I'm not really seeing good teamwork there by the Dodges. You know, Allen Family Racing Team and Finn Guy Saitomi Motorsports are known for working with each other in the shop, on the track, and even on super speedways we've seen Jeffrey Finn Guy working with Sky Commons and Ryan Acosta in the past, but here with Griffin, not really working it well together and getting shuffled out just a little bit. Bassinger and Turner, I've realized, they've had to lift a lot in the corners, and it's really hurt them in this race, so they're going to need to work on that a lot. Same with the Mace Enterprises cars. But back up front, Griffin has a run with Jordan Davis. Davis has looked really quick. Weeks, Griffin, Finn Guy, the front 4 have looked so fast. But can't we see Bassinger, Turner, Rodriguez, or even Lamas pose a threat here with 6 laps to go? Daytona Weeks is back out front. We're seeing some fantastic racing. No wrecks whatsoever, but some great racing nonetheless. And here comes the Dodges around the outside of Jordan Davis. And could pose a threat down the straightaway. Side by side, the Fords back there for 4th. But here comes Griffin looking low. Weeks trying to block it there, but couldn't get down enough. Ryan Griffin, Jeffrey Finn Guy, trying to win the 8th annual Sony Shootout. Griffin slides up in front of Weeks, but the run is with Jeffrey Finn Guy. Finn Guy to the inside. This team nearly shut down at the end of the year. Got some funding to go for another year. He's up front battling for the lead in the Sony Shootout, Jeffrey Finn Guy. And here comes Weeks with a run. Could he go up the middle? Not enough run there. Davis thought about going to the inside of Finn Guy, but didn't have the momentum to keep it up through the corner. And here comes Griffin. Griffin trying to get back to the lead. Jake Bassinger slowly but surely inching his way towards the front. Some fantastic battles we're watching unfold. Here comes Jake Bassinger. We've been talking about him and his teammate of Jesse Turner not really having the pace, it seems. But here he is up front with Davis again to the inside. But can he hold it? Look at Weeks shoving Griffin around the outside. Finn Guy getting shuffled back. What a run by Weeks, just shoving that 43 on the outside. And look at him get that run down the outside. And back to the front, the 43 of Ryan Griffin with Daytona Weeks. And Davis is going to get right behind his teammate, and it'll be 3 laps to go. This field of 14 drivers still has a chance. And here comes Weeks to the inside. A big battle back here for 3rd place. Davis doesn't know where to go. Trying to block all 3 lines. Dom Caps, who has really not been much of a talking point in this race, trying to fight his way to the front. And Jordan Davis looking low of his teammate possibly, but gonna give him a little bit of an assist. And Weeks and teammate Jordan Davis gonna shoot to the lead. Yant Motorsports 1-2 at the point. While we say that, the Turner Performance cars to the inside as well, trying to get up here and win this race. Bassinger on the inside of Jordan Davis. 2 laps of racing to go. Daytona Weeks is your leader. Jeffrey Finn Guy, who's been really strong all race, he's been shuffled way back. And Ryan Griffin also back as well. Griffin trying to fight his way up the middle. Bassinger hasn't been very fast all race, but can he mount a charge? That 43's been really quick as well. Sitting back there in third, he's got to run to the inside of the 97, but Bassinger throws a block. We'll be coming back to the white flag. They're getting single file once again, and that's possibly what Dejon Weeks wants to see, as there's no momentum really with any driver. But seeing that 43 in your rearview mirror could not be any good whatsoever, because the 43's been so fast. The white flag is out. The 43 of Griffin to the inside of Dejon Weeks. He had to lift just a little bit to keep from running to the back of Dejon Weeks, and that helps Dejon Weeks. Down the back straightaway, can Dejon Weeks win for back-to-back years in the Sony Shootout? Weeks won last year's Sony Shootout. Can he win this year's? 3 wide further back, but charging back to the checkered flag in the Sony Shootout. Weeks will lead Griffin and Davis, but no charge at the line, and it is gonna be Dejon Weeks winning the Sony Shootout. For the 2 years in a row, back-to-back years, last year's winner and this year's as well, Dejon Weeks wins the Sony Shootout, and the best way to start out the new year. It is Weeks, then Griffin, a fantastic outing in the new ride for Ryan Griffin for Allen Family Racing Team. Second best in the finishing results. Man, Ryan Griffin in testing has been so fast. And you gotta think that Ryan Griffin is gonna be one to look out for in 2019. Jordan Davis really showed his muscle in that race. Got aggressive. The 2-time champion could be a threat for 3 in 2019. Jeffrey Fengai tried to fight back at the end, got shuffled back with a few laps to go. He finishes 5th place. Matthew Rodriguez from Martin Motorsports, the Toyota team, gets 4th. Dylan Young 6th. DJ Curtis, who was really nowhere all race, they're going to have to regroup with that 19 team and see where they can benefit. Dom Capps also really struggled in that race as well. But a fantastic race. A lot of different lines and a lot of different grooves. We saw some great racing in this shootout. It was definitely a shootout because it was nothing but a dash to the finish. 20 laps, 50 miles, and if that's what we may see in the Daytona 500, I can't wait to see what the 23rd annual Daytona 500 holds for everyone. What a race, and congratulations to Yamp Motorsports and Dejon Weeks on winning another Sony Shootout. That is 2 years in a row for them, and they have looked really quick. Good job for Dejon Weeks and them, especially coming off the practice session they had where Weeks blew up in his backup car and wrecked with Luke Martin. Had a lot of trouble, but turned that luck around. I mean, it was not looking good after practice, but for the Daytona 500, they got to be looking at that race and thinking they could win the 23rd annual Daytona 500. They won it with Silver Fox in the 28 car for Yamp Motorsports in 2017. Could it be their year? Gonna have to wait and see. Tomorrow, you will have the Sony Pole qualifying, where all 58 drivers will attempt to shoot at the pole. And, man, I can't wait to see what that race, what this qualifying session, and the duels on Thursday, and especially the Daytona 500 has in store. Thanks for watching. I can't wait to see you for the next video.